if we want to wait for an answer without processing other messages in between, we can use a wait result. And when we send the message, we use a question mark. We also need to specify a timeout. So this is typically what the main program can do when it has the controller, and it will here asks the controller to compute the max flow. And then this flow will have a type which we don't bother about, but when we get the result here, it will be the return value from the controller. Okay, so the controller needs to save the one who sent this message. So this is the case for the max flow message. It will. This is just a quite short variable name for the return value, but let's have that. So we save the sender, and the type of the sender is, of course, an actor ref. Okay, so this is some more what the controller can do. It can tell the source node that it has the height n, and it is the source, and it can tell the sink that it is the sink, and there are no active nodes yet, and it can tell the source to start working. But how you do that, you can decide on your own, of course. We need a way to stop the actors when we are finished, and I forgot in the previous video say that this system we use actor system, and I mean this function to get a value that is the factory to create new actors, and also to control the termination of the actor system. So when we are done, we can tell each actor to stop and eventually to terminate everything. Now let's look at some useful functions for the node actors. These are not necessary in any way, but it can be useful to have them. First, I suspect you will need to do printing to debug your program, or at least to see that it works as expected on small inputs. So what you probably want is not to modify the source code to comment out or not certain parts, but use an attribute, for instance debug, that is controlled by one line to do the printing or not. Fancy modern editors from this millennium may make that simpler, but I still believe that having an attribute to control the level of output is better than commenting out things. Okay, because this is guaranteed only one line that needs to be changed. Okay, so we may want to have a status function that prints which node it is, its excess preflow, and its current height. ID is another function which is a string with at and the node's index. Okay, why do we want that? Well, this this function here, they will produce log out prints, and then you want to be able to search and identify what happens to a particular node in an easy way. I will come back to grep in a moment. Okay, and you may also want to have a function which prints out that an actor enters a certain function. For instance, if you want to do relabel, it doesn't return a value, so it's a void in Java and C. That's called unit in Scala. So it may do this: enter relabel and exit relabel. And here it clearly increments its height. Okay. This debug attribute, it can be changed by you in the source code, or it can be changed during the program, for instance by the controller, or when a certain situation has happened. I mean, whatever it is needed to understand your program, it's useful to be able to change this on the fly.